Hi, this is Mark Nejma from newsweed.com. I'd appreciate it if you could like this video or also subscribe. I'd like to talk to you today about the crash that we're supposedly having. I want to tell you straight off, I think it's a faux crash. I think that our country, as well as China, has been speaking against capitalism. Uh, I don't think that's a good thing. I think China uh, wants to see things change. They don't want too many wealthy people in China, or they want to just try to hurt our economy. So how does that fit into BNGO? Well, I think that the stocks that really have a good product are the places that you want to be invested in. You haven't lost any money if you haven't sold your stock. Uh, I am not selling my stock. I have about 991,000 shares. So far, I believe in the company. I'm doing some research on a number of things, which I'll discuss with you in a second. Uh, I'm not giving you advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And I feel like one of the most fortunate people in terms as an investor. And the way I'm reading this is that we have a number of forces here. Number one, the hedge funds and the big players on Wall Street definitely have an opinion of retail investors as being very stupid people, um, almost like the peasants of the world. And they think that they are a lot smarter than we are. So they've been really kind of trying to bring the market to this point. So it's sort of like uh, a wish of the market to bring the market down this far. Now we're talking about supposedly a contagion that's going to happen because there's a Chinese real estate company that didn't allow American banks to invest in it. Is going to drag the market down. I don't see it. We just had four individuals go up into space that were civilians that did not just go to the outer orbit, but they were actually in orbit and then came down as if they went on a weekend trip. I mean, this is amazing. When I was a kid, I mean, it was major world news. Now all of a sudden it's like, no big deal. Biotech, if you've been watching, is really where the place to invest. On any given day, you see two or three biotech companies that double in price. Part of it is a lot of hype. Part of it is a lot of pump, which I don't like to see in the market. These gangs of people that go in and pump a stock, like with Ocugen or like with iBio. That's very bad for the market. Now let's talk about BNGO and what I've learned this weekend. I read all the boards. I don't have a lot of faith in them, but I did see something that kind of was intriguing to me. Again, I am banned from Yahoo boards somehow, some way, probably some hedge fund or some person that's a shorter did not want me participating there. But I do read them. Same with StockTwits. I'm able to read them, but I'm not able to post. Uh, that tells you one thing: a lot of corruption, a lot of misinformation on those boards. Because when they have a person like me who's going to dig and really search and tell the truth, they want to get rid of me, which they did. But at least I have YouTube still. Now, uh, what I saw this weekend was a comment by a supposedly uh, 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 Western Illinois professor. I kind of backtracked it and saw that this guy was a Norwegian guy who was a professor at Western University who also uh, studies or participated in testifying for the sake of the government in terms of corporate corruption. Well, he came on Yahoo and was making a comment about Ann Lurie, who's a big philanthropist in Chicago, and then mention was of Erik Holmlin, who used to be the CEO of Neosphere, uh, and then a guy named Michael Ward, who also worked at Bionanogenomics at between 2013, I think, and 2019, or maybe 2014, 2019. So I'm kind of on that track. This weekend, I was also contacted by an investor from uh, Canada who wants me to get out and search and get the feedback from the people actually using the machines, whether it's a positive or a negative. Um, this person that contacted me did give me his name, so I won't release it. But I think it's a good idea that we reach out when we find out what kind of performance they're getting from the Sapphire machine. However, I think that might be a moot point because we've seen so many presentations by people that are using the machine. So I think it's pretty good. But still, due diligence would be appropriate to go out and check and actually speak to people inside those facilities that are using the machine. Because if you notice what happened last week with BLI, you had a short seller which came out, which personally I think it should be illegal, and they were really promoting the downturn of the stock. Now BLI is one of Kathy Wood's big investments. I think it's 40th on her list, and that stock has dropped substantially because the particular short seller released some news and some really bad comments about it, saying that their customers don't even use the machine and it's been mothballed and so on and so forth. So when I hear a comment which mentions Erik Holmlin and Lurie and Michael Ward, then I want to investigate. Now, fortunately, I have very strong ties in Chicagoland. I don't personally know Ann Lurie. I never knew that Erik Holmlin was involved with her, but I do have close friends that do know of her. She has a fantastic nonprofit for a children's hospital, and I want to find out if the Sapphire is being used there, because here's the connection. Michael Ward was part of this company, Neosphere. Erik Holmlin was on the board of Neosphere, and that was a company that was part of the investment of Ann Lurie, who's a philanthropist. So those people went to Bionano Genomics, so that means that those people must know Ann Lurie, and there might be some connection there. This guy, who was definitely our Norwegian guy, making these negative comments, I'm going to pay him a visit and actually, find out exactly, what's going on. Now, there just may be some bad friendship blood, or, they just don't like them. I know for a fact that Ann Lurie was, there was an attempt to kidnap her, and that was a pretty serious thing. I know that as a fact because I know people very close to the situation. So, some negative information may be coming there. I do know that Neosphere was sold for $58 million. You can look that up in Crane's Business, which is a very low price. It probably was, the technology was not appropriate back then, but Erik Holmlin was definitely on the board. So I'm following up that story, as well as the story about what's happening in terms of how good the machines are. Of course, I'm doing the work on the patents. I'm reading through them now, trying to share with some medical students, as I've said for a long time. I'll try to get a couple of interns in legal before I actually hire and hand it off to an attorney, because usually attorneys are like, well, I got to research it. So I'll actually do a certain amount of work on it at a lower cost, kind of hand that to an attorney to evaluate, a patent attorney to evaluate it, and then go from there. I really want to know if the neonatal and sequencing is something in the future of Bionano. So getting back to the market, I see the NASDAQ is down like 414, and gold is rising. I'm not worried at all. Not at all. I give the reference of these people that just went up to space. Think about it, folks. America is in a renaissance. I think that you're going to see tremendous music that comes out in the very near future that really unites people. I think that the technology is going to explode. I think that America is on top of it all right now. And we're going to work out all of our problems, and we're going to come together. And it's going to be somewhat miraculous. You're going to see it. You're going to see it happen, and in a very near future. So I'm not negative on the markets. I'm positive on the markets. I think we needed a cleanup like this. I'm holding my BNGO. I've not sold one share. I'm also invested in synthetic biologics, the symbol SYN. I'm going to the stockholders meeting tomorrow. By the way, funny story, I went on a hike yesterday, and I had about a 5-hour drive to get to Maryland. Um, so I start driving, I stop to get something to eat, and I drive all the way down to Maryland. It's like 10:30 at night. I'm never going to make it to the hotel, and then I go into the rest area, and I look up, and I'm like, September 19th. I said, oh, that calendar must be wrong, because I'm going to a stockholders meeting on September 21st. Well, as it turns out, it really was September 19th, and I ended up sleeping in the parking lot of Maryland rest area, because I was so frustrated that I had to drive back, go to my cardiac rehab, because I didn't want to miss a cardiac rehab. And then right now I'm driving back to Maryland again, right after I make this video. So I'm pretty stupid. So don't listen to me. Don't take my financial advice. I just give you my opinion of what I think is going on. So I'll be on the road very shortly. I think that what you should do is walk your dog, hug your dog, pet your cat, feed your cat, hug your wife, hug your boyfriend, dance, listen to music, write a poem, do something that's reasonable. Don't sit there and sulk. I've seen this 1,000 times. The American economy is so resilient, and right now I've never seen it any better. The things that are happening in medicine, the things that are happening in climate control technology, the things that are happening in just about everything is absolutely amazing. COVID was a push for us to realize our true capabilities. And even though there are a lot of lazy people sitting home, they're not going to be lazy forever. They're going to get out there, and they're going to be working for these companies, and they're going to use their creativity, because that's what America is. It's a swimming pool of creativity, and this is just the right time. Oh my God, rock and roll, here we go. Have a great day. This is Mark Nejma from newsweed.com. I'm not an investment expert. I'm just a regular guy that got a little lucky. God bless, be well, and hold on. Thank you.